Hey y'all, so I'm in a greenhouse today and there were so many wish list plants that I've had on my wish list forever and still don't have, that I just said, let me pull out this camera and do a video right here. But I'm gonna add a twist. They're all variegated. Let me go get the plant. All right, so this list is not in order. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Syngonium scrambled eggs. There was a time when Syngoniums were my main jam, and this was at the very top of my wish list. This plant used to be like $350, so I just never thought I'd have it, and I still don't. But the prices come down. Like I think this one is $109.99 or something like that. Still a little bit too expensive for my taste, but this is just one of those things I like looking at it. This is gorgeous. Look at that. All right, so everyone knows what this is. This is the Monstera albo, and it is probably at the top of most plant collectors' wish lists. I still can't believe I don't have one. Like that, it's insane to me. But look at this leaf. Look at this variegation. And I feel so much more confident now growing these, but I'm not gonna lie, the Thai constellation still has my heart, but this is still a really pretty one. Oh, and look at this leaf. We love a half moon. This is my favorite type of variegation. Quick question though, so when you guys are shopping for Monstera albos, like which one do you go for? Do you go for the half moon? Do you go for the spread out variegation? Because I know some people like that. Or do you go for leaves with these big sections or chunks of white in them? I found that really interesting because I know different people like different sorts of variegation, but I mean, this is unreal. I look great between these plants. All right, the next one is the Syngonium aurea. I haven't seen this one in a while. I am a huge fan of the Syngonium albo. I haven't had an aurea. I want to say they're the same, but I don't want to say that. I want to be sure. And I think the white variegation is just so common that these aurea varieties, this yellow variegation, is becoming really popular. Seriously, with my Syngonium albo, I have never had to cut it back for variegation. It just produces variegation all the time, and that is not the case for some Syngoniums. I know you guys know that. I do see some reverted leaves like this one right here, so I am not sure, but one day I'll give this plant a try. Okay, when I saw this, I felt like pinching myself to make sure this was real and I was actually seeing this plant. This is a Raphidophora tetrasperma, but variegated. This plant is so special to me because back in, I think, 2020 or 2021, this plant was so rare that the very first one was auctioned off and it sold for $10,000. I believe a purchaser in Australia got it, and I remember at the time, I thought that was insane. That was when the Spiritus Sanctis were really expensive, and that's when everybody was just so in love with variegated plants. Look, it's just crazy that I am holding this right now. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Most of you know that alocasias are one of my favorite genuses. So when I saw this, I'm like, yes! Alocasia odora aurea. Insane. Me and yellow plants are we have a love affair right now. I am seeing all the yellow variegated plants and I want them all. I like alocasias because there's usually corms in here. So if you get a really expensive variety of them, you have free plants inside of this soil. Normally though, sometimes you don't find any corms, but most times you do. All right, so next is the Syngonium strawberry ice. I've been obsessed with not only yellow, but pink variegation. And I will say this though, I do have trust issues when it comes to variegated Syngoniums, and for good reason. I've owned a lot of different varieties, and what I can tell you is that you almost never know what the next leaf is gonna look like. You never know, and some varieties are even worse because you never even know what leaf shape you're going to get next. I wish that all of the leaves were variegated like this one, but just in my experience, that doesn't seem to be the case. I've just been kind of antsy about getting another rare, expensive, variegated Syngonium, but I might try this one. These are all crotons, and I need you to hold your judgment before we get started because I really love these plants, and you will hurt my feelings if you don't love them too. I don't understand the croton hate. I don't understand why people could not love a plant like this. This is the croton corkscrew, and it flowers. Oh, it's in flower. I think I knocked one of them off, but I didn't even know these things could flower. They're so heavily mutated and went through all kind of changes that I just didn't even think it could. But there it is. Not the prettiest flower, but it's a flower. And this is the fireworks. You know what? He is a little chaotic. Now that I'm looking at it, he's a bit chaotic. He kind of has all kind of things happening here. I still think this is a great plant. I love crotons. I don't understand the hate for it. There's no way I'm going to believe you don't like this one. This is a rosette shaped croton, okay? This is the croton rose. I seriously, I think you are lying to yourself if you don't think that this plant is absolutely beautiful, especially if you like roses. It's just like, why wouldn't you want a highly variegated rosette type plant? Okay? Variegated banana. Y'all, the hole this plant has on me is unreal. This will always be on the top of my wish list. We're talking always. I am obsessed with banana trees. I have several of them. I've harvested lots of bananas. I have multiple varieties. They're just really popular here, and a lot of people don't really know that about New Orleans. We are in a subtropical climate, so we can have plants like this. Some winters it does get crazy. It's never gotten crazy where my banana tree has just completely died off. Once you plant them, that is it. In the right environment, you will have to hire a professional to get them fully removed from your yard. Do not ask me how I know. Yeah. Okay, Monstera laniata variegated. This is one of those plants that it looks really nice, but you should really see what the mature version looks like. That's what I do with all plants. When I find a really nice plant, I immediately go to Instagram and find what that plant looks like at its best, because I need to know what to expect. And when I saw this plant, I was just like, oh yeah, you need this one. You absolutely need this one. The fenestrations. Okay, I just had to add some Hoyas to the list. This is the Hoya pachycolata variegated, and the reason why it's on my list is because at the moment I am obsessed with large leafed Hoyas, especially types like these. These leaves are so thick and succulent. Like, I love that. I kind of want this plant now. Let's see how much it is. It's $50. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. And there's like 2 plants in here. Oh, this is a beauty right here. Epipernum giganteum variegated. I have wanted this plant for so long, and it seems like every time I tried to find it, it was either too expensive or I just couldn't find it anywhere. I like really big leafed plants that grow fast and big, and I like the variegation on this one. So I think I'm gonna make this happen at some point. It's probably, out of all the plants that I showed you, this is probably the one that I may walk out the greenhouse with today. Though I did say that last week. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. All right, I am not gonna lie to you. I have never seen this plant in my life, but when I saw it, it went to the top of my wish list. To the very, very top. What? I need to tell you what the name of this plant is. This is the San Pedro variegated cactus. I really need to up my cactus game because I do have a wish list cactus at home and it's doing really well. It's blue. I really need a larger, nice cactus collection because this one, I just started right now. This is the inner variegated Hoya. This is the Hoya Bella. This is the Louis Bois. I still do not know why I don't have this plant. I just still feel like they're a little bit too expensive now because I like when Hoyas come in these 3-inch pots, but for me, I like to have big, like full pots of plants. If I see a Hoya this small, I'm usually buying multiples, so they can get really expensive if you get a lot of them. I'm holding out to see if I can get a full basket of these at a reasonable price. Okay, Aglaonema pictum tricolor. I need to talk about this plant because at its height, when it was so popular and everyone was scrambling to get one, I found one on Facebook Marketplace and I got it. And it is no longer with us because, and I hope that lady's not listening to this video, that plant had the trifecta of pests on it. It had scale, mealybugs, and spider mites. All three. That plant came with all 3. So I basically was just like, yeah, I got to get rid of it. And I haven't gotten one since, but I think that it is time to get another one. Also, these grow really slow. I've hardly seen very gigantic ones. These grow at oh my goodness, they grow so slow, but so pretty. Look at that. This is straight camo. That's straight camo. All right, Philodendron orange marmalade. I do have this, but technically I don't have it. Let me explain. I got my orange marmalade probably about 2 years ago, and when I got mine, they were very, very rare, and the variegation was nothing like this. We have breaking news this hour. It has come to our attention that after reviewing old footage, Dana was in fact wrong. Sources tell us her orange marmalade was indeed very yellow when she got it. When asked Dana for her comments on the investigation, here's what she had to say. Okay, Anne, I'm now moving it, so I guess I just have a green marmalade now. And there you have it. Back to you, Dana. Yes, and I've noticed that the batches that have been coming like this year are all extremely variegated. Like there's so much yellow in this leaf, you would think it's just a yellow-leafed plant. In my mind, this is a completely new type of orange marmalade because the variegation is just so nice on this. It just makes my orange marmalade look like he's just not happy. I need to get this. Orange marmalade, though, what I've noticed is this plant grows at a snail's pace. You would think this was a Hoya. This is probably one of my slowest growing philodendrons. It is, yes, this is one of my slowest growing philodendrons. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This one is a Hoya latifolia pot of gold. You might be used to the Hoya latifolia variegated. I believe it's an outer variegated one. Yeah, it's an outer variegated one. This is an inner variegated variety. Even though this is the same plant with just inner variegation, it looks so different. You know what? I'm going to see if I can go find the outer variegated one so I can show you the comparison. All right, y'all, I have found it. So this is the outer variegated variety, and this is the inner variegated. So can you guys really see the difference now? Both beautiful plants, but this one, there's just something about it that does it for me. Oh, how much is this? He's 50 bucks. How much is this one? Is there a price? You know what? He's $19.99. You know what? I would go ahead and pay the extra money for this one. I like it that much. I like it that much. All right, moving on. This one is the Monstera laniata variegated. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a lechleriana variegated. And I've only recently become familiar with this plant. In my opinion, I've seen a lot of these online listed as variegated, but this feels like a mint. I feel like this should be called mint because all the variegated ones I see have this almost exact same type of speckled or mottled variegation, and I still think this should be called a mint. Let me show you some of the other ones so you can see for yourself. See, this looks like mint. When I think of variegated, I think of this. I think of very visible chunks of variegation. I'm not thinking necessarily of this. I call this mint. This is what I would call mint. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do we call it mint? I need this plant. This is the Sansevieria well-fed variegated, and let me tell you, I did a Sansevieria video a couple months ago, some time ago, and I showcased this, and I still want this plant. It's just so big and so beautiful and so striking. Love it. All right, guys, so that is it. I had to bring these out for emotional support. I hope this list was a feast for your eyes because it sure was for mine. How often do you see this many rare wish list plants in one place? Not that often. Also, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. We're going to try to do these videos more consistently, but editing is hard. But thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are so supportive, and I absolutely love that. Till the next video, I will see you later. Bye!